Imagine you are a doctor at a top hospital. You have 6 gravely ill patients, 5 of whom are in urgent need of organ transplants. But 1, there are no available organs. And 2, there is the coronavirus, and they will be more vulnerable to this after the transplant. The 6th patient, however, will die without a particular medicine, and if she dies, you will be able to save all the other 5 patients by using her organs. She happens to be an organ donor. Under these circumstances, what do? Life is replete with having to make decisions that have moral or ethical dimensions, and it can often catch us off guard. Most of us would admit that we rely on our inner moral code to take a call, and our moral compass is influenced by parents, faith, geography, education, even gender. But how nuanced is this moral code? Life does not often provide opportunities for any moral debate. We absorb these by osmosis. But is there a difference between the generations? How do the generations reason about moral problems? Most boomers and Gen X will likely say that right and wrong do not change ever. But far more millennials and zoomers seem to have a more fluid view of what is right and what is wrong. Ideas on morality are no longer as stable as they were once. They are relatively relative. According to research from Professor Dr. James Weber, who is Executive Director of the Institute for Ethics in Business, when compared to past generations, millennials exhibit lower levels of cognitive moral reasoning. He compared the millennials' levels of cognitive moral reasoning to that demonstrated by the baby boomers and the Gen X. And he did that with a period when these generations were in college, which was in the 1960s, 1970s for baby boomers and the 80s and the 90s for Gen X. The studies showed that baby boomers used principled moral reasoning, which is also considered the highest level of decision making, about 42% of the time. And Gen X, on average, used this same principled moral reasoning 37% of the time. Millennials, they only used principled moral reasoning 31% of the time. Now, most of us believe that our moral beliefs are self-evident, but they could be constraining us because we never stopped to reason our moral code. We could approach decisions in our lives with a more layered understanding if we stop to hear different points of view. Interestingly, there is an outline for the implementation of citizen moral construction in the new era across the Galwan Valley. There is advice on how to raise children, surf the internet and behave while abroad. Almost a life guide for the inhabitants of what shall be the middle kingdom between heaven and earth. Would you and I, would we debate, or would we have it defined for us? That is the question.